it. Let us sit down.
Yes.
Okay, so back to my question.
Back to your question of success, I think that there's once again, it's what your measuring stick is, and my measuring stick is a very broad, large measuring stick, but I think where the real success will be on the daily interactions, like the fact that you contacted me and reached out, and that we can make an interview like this, and I don't work for your institute, you don't work for mine, and it's not a money thing always, it's about building a bigger picture.
Right.
And then I believe all the money, all the contracts, all the business stuff will work out if you're building that bigger picture. And if you lose sight of that bigger picture of unity and unification and larger goals in life of being a normal, healthy person and not getting crazy about your job and like losing all like your value system and just for the sake of money or whatever it is, if you start losing that bigger picture, I think that then that's the biggest failure there is. You know, like say you have a genius, like, you know, Einstein. If in the end of all his genius he loses sight of godliness and that there was a creative force in the world, then all his genius was for naught, you know. It like has to end off with the one that makes sense of all the zeros that he's so holding at.
Right. Even your whole life, right? Your business, your family, everything has to have really the same who you are. What's your essence of what you're trying to actually achieve in this world at the end of the day.
And I think then that makes sense of every post I've ever done online, every single event I've done, every single hosting on Shabbat, every single meeting with a guy on the street, or any time, you know, I was with my family, or we're sitting here now. It's for a larger goal in life and picture, and suddenly you feel like, wow, I'm fulfilled. I'm doing something that's meaningful, and now I can have happiness. Now I'm happy, because up until then, the drugs, the alcohol, and everything else that everyone's doing to try to fill the space, including addiction to the phones, and I have that struggle myself, you know, not with the drugs and alcohol, but the phones, like, you know, that's not going to, in long term, you're not going to get that fulfillment. Just how many likes is not going to do it. Ask anyone in the show business in Hollywood. You know, I'm friends with somewhat online, and I met him one time when he came to Israel, a guy called Lewis House. I went out of my way to meet with him. One of the reasons why I just wanted to say thank you for all your content, because his content is good, positive. You know, he's out there in LA with all the contradictions going on and all the different ways of thinking and all the high tech and show business stuff going down, and yet he's still able to keep himself somewhat clear that his message is very positive and encouraging and developmental and thoughtful, and it's nice to see this. There's good stuff out there in the general world, and it's online and it's available, and there are people who are working hard on themselves to try to come to the truth. I feel that, you know, there's a whole obligation on you and me to get that truth out there through the media content, that the people like Oprah should know more about, well, what's the Torah viewpoint, what's the Hasidic viewpoint,
Right.
What's this unified viewpoint that we have. Like, she did do one time interview with some Chabad women, she's touched on it a little bit, but someone on that scale to have more of a connection to our world and not what the media portrays, which is all this disunity and I don't know, the people they video are like the worst representatives, and, you know, try and like get out of that low level PR and get us up to the true PR, which is people who are living up to the teachings, or at least trying to, and are being authentic about it. And I think Rav Arush is one of them. I think that, you know, in every place there's going to be challenges, and within each institute there's going to be challenges, but the key is to focus on the core values of that institute, the person who's the showcase, and also the people that work there that represent it are trying to represent a true value system. And I think that we all have an obligation online to present that positive picture and to give a lot of time to people online that they should be able to voice their opinion back. So I'd like to hear more questions. I've spoken a lot.
Well, that was a very detailed answer. I mean, we went through a lot of different topics with that.
So now I'm going to say very short answers so you can get a lot of questions in, and then we'll end.
I think you answered most of my questions. I had a few questions though along the way. You mentioned that way back earlier on that in Israel it's very hard to get a big event going, right? Because of all the different political issues. Yeah. Are those issues mostly based in religious issues, or?
I would say not. I would say, unfortunately, that the political system and religious system has been portrayed in the media for different agendas, to be very divisive, and you know, I don't have to comment on it. Just look anywhere online and see it going on. unfortunately. So the point is not, I wouldn't pinpoint it to anybody or anything specific, especially not religion. I would say that it's something which is, religion personally. If people ask me, am I religious? I would say I'm spiritual. Like I grew up secular and I became religious. That's how we would technically describe it.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to stay with that technical description. I wouldn't want to define myself that way. I would just say it's been a spiritual journey that I've unified from what I experienced as a person who didn't know much about my own heritage to someone who knows a lot more, not everything, but a lot more, and I still have a connection with people who know much more than me, and they're the ones who guide me in the Jewish heritage understandings and how to bring it out. But I would never pinpoint any specific thing, because unless it's for a very big purpose that we can actually, in a positive way, do something about it.
Right. The reason I'm asking really is because I know you go around a whole tour in America now, and I wanted to know, does that carry over at all into that, or just totally unrelated?
When I go to America, it seems just like there's just a lot of openness and respect to what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've, thank God, never come into a community where there's been a disrespect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, it never happened to me. That's one, I'm fortunate to say that, because I'm sure there are stories, but I don't know. And two, that I do think, like, if you keep positive people around you and try to keep the message positive and pure as much as possible, you pray a lot for it to work out. Rav Arush is praying all the time that these trips should be successful. And you constantly, when I was with Nissan Black, he prayed and prayed all our different events should go well, and doing Espodidus, talking to Hashem and asking God, we're going to Uman soon, we're going to make a unity event in Uman. How's it unity? Because it's a non-financial event. We're basically just giving a space for Rav Arush to be translated into English. I'm also speaking a little bit, but the main point is that we should take a very holy rabbi, translate it in English. It's a space we have there from Rav Arush has a shul, and there's no political involvement, no money involved. We're not asking for money. I haven't requested any sponsorship for it. Maybe I think on the website there is someone posted it incorrectly and actually did ask them and asked them to take that off, because it says for information or to sponsor. I never said that. I'm going to ask them to take that down. I want it just information. People come, have an experience.
No outside influences.
Just give content sometimes.
Just a good message.
Like Gary Vaynerchuk always says, give. That's the true successful people now, who are just giving so much content, and then that will spill over to eventual support and financial benefit for sure.
Right. He's definitely all about long term.
Yeah.
Give up on the short term and just be real and honest.
Yeah, human resources, and he's a Jew as well, so he has that in his pocket also. But the point is that there's so much ability to do things right. So that would be my short answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's do the last time. I think we'll do